Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, October 24, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call tomorrow night, Friday, October 25th, a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Many of us are running away from ourselves. Yet whatever parts we are running away from always end up becoming what we run towards at some point in this lifetime or the next. We're all in this learning process, experiencing and learning how to embrace our fear, love our fear, and we will form a deeper spiritual respect for this life. The one real primer that's not too prevalent on this planet is that the civilization, well, of course it chooses, right? People choose to embrace the spirituality of the God within the body. And no matter what, this is why we've been in a cycle for hundreds of thousands of years. Because we have not yet discovered who and what we are in these bodies. And as long as that continues, there will be tremendous challenges for the civilization in the years ahead. Our transition is into higher frequency, but how do you maintain higher frequency when you don't know who and what you are? Or you don't take the time to meditate because there's too many other things that are more prioritized, like everyday life. Now, when you realize this, and those that are aware of it, see, you could be, let's put it this way, you could be awake or believe you're awake, but you're embracing the God within isn't there, okay? So are you really awake? And this is connected all the way through. When you're connected with the God that you are, the pure consciousness, you're not looking for or expecting accolades or adoration or anything like that, because of the fact that you know who and what you are, and that you're a part of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And in this context, we view things much differently. Rather than critiquing each other and judging one another and ridiculing one another, that's not there. It doesn't exist. Because everything has been on purpose turned around. So most of us follow our ego mind. How do we know that? Well, if you feel compelled to critique someone or to do something, or it's ego mind. That's all it is. It's ego mind. Heart-mindedness, that wouldn't even be there. It wouldn't be there. But yet we believe that we know who and what we are. And when you embrace spirituality, which is the God, the pure consciousness within the body, you become an ascended being. You become enlightened, knowingly. Okay? You carry the Christ consciousness and the Buddha consciousness. We all do. We all carry it. It's just that we haven't discovered it for ourselves yet. What does that do when you embrace the spirit, the soul, the God, the kingdom of God, the heaven, which all is within you. You're not wanting because you know everything is yours. You're not aspiring. You're not climbing and scraping and stretching through life or fighting life because you're the master and commander of your life. So once you fully embrace the God that you are on a second-to-second basis, then you realize that everything will come to you. Sure, you'll have to, you choose to act upon things. You know, you can't just be a bump on a log and have everything thrown on you, but it will come to you. And when you have that confidence, faith, and trust in yourself in this universe, it's automatic. It comes all the time. It's just there. It's always been there. But a majority of us don't know that. And we've got to master the ego mind to move beyond the physical material. Some of us will take maybe many more lifetimes. Who knows? But you'll hear me say this a lot. It's all about you. From the heart-mind perspective, knowing yourself, loving yourself, forgiving yourself, embracing yourself, having an intimate relationship with yourself, you know, being kind, gentle, humble, and generous with yourself. How many of us are there now? You will discover that there will come a moment where you no longer feel compelled to follow. You will lead and guide yourself through the God that you are. You won't require a structure to lead you or guide you, because you will lead yourself. The trust, the confidence, and the faith in yourself in this universe, and that the God that you are in that body, you won't require what people have required on this planet for hundreds of thousands of years, millions, to be led. Okay? This is in our natural state of being. It might sound kind of strange to some people, but it isn't. To be led is not our natural state of being. But it's easy to be led because you, or anyone for that matter, you don't have to think. You just follow. You're just being led lifetime after lifetime. And that's why it gets heavy at times for people. It gets frustrating and irritating that they're not comfortable with being led. Is that an ego mind thing? Not really. It's just a natural state of being is to govern oneself, which means lead thyself. Now, we're equipped with everything we will ever need, forever, beyond, and ever. We just don't know it. So this is why the spiritual quest amongst this civilization has been so arduous, to say the least. Now, we all know that there have been, is thousands of religions on the planet. But those are distractions from who and what we are. And see, first, through meditation, you fall into the now. And the now is the only place while we're in these bodies, that we can leave the mind and the ego alone, the incessant mind chatter, all these thousands of thoughts coming in every day, 24/7, the worry, the stress, the fear, it is not there. It doesn't exist there. This is the only way that we can watch the ego mind on how it operates. You know, what's its characteristics, personality? How does it operate? In other words, you're watching how it leads you, influences you, directs you, comes up with different source information from itself to feed to you as thoughts that you believe are yours. It's never satisfied because it's very insecure. This is why a lot of people on the planet are very insecure. They protect themselves because they have to protect the ego mind. You ever felt where you just feel like you've got to protect yourself from somebody saying something, or somebody being verbally disrespectful, challenging? And we have this, we're real flexible most of the time as the species that we are. And a lot of the times we go with the flow. We kind of roll with it. Deep down inside, we know that the spiritual road path is the connector that's always been missing for lifetimes. When one of us leaves the body, we don't know who and what we are. We're lost. And remember, this has been going on for lifetimes. So a light comes in, and we go into the light. Okay? We don't know that we're the light. So we go into the light. And the process starts all over again. Knowledge is power, ignorance is evil. And see, the cycle must be ended for this civilization to flourish. And what's the cycle? The cycle is what your parents were taught by their parents, 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 on and on and on. It's a redundant, repetitive process. We pretty much learn the same things, give or take, as we grow up. We're influenced by the same things that the people influencing us were influenced by. And you see, it's kind of like a box. And we repeat this: perspectives, belief mechanisms, attitudes. It's all intertwined, and that information that is given to us each life that we exist with. So when we, now, do we realize this? Some discover it. You know, it's through the heart mind, not the ego mind. So how does one shift the consciousness of a planetary population? One step at a time. And when you have, you're looking at different avenues and applications, and directions. So it's like you have children, you teach those children who and what they are right from day one. Okay? It's imperative. That's about the only way that we're really going to, the next generation, to be educated by those who have discovered and embraced the gods that they are within the body. This isn't religion at all. This is awareness of who and what we are. That expands with a civilization once that starts to take place. It begins to melt away the mysticism and the programming from generation to generation. You imagine that the next generation on this planet would know who and what it is, and would reside in the heart-mind. Okay? It's all on how it begins in the body. That is the prime factor, how it begins in the body, how we are programmed from day one. Okay? And that deep-seats itself within us for a whole lifetime. You can see how delicate and how empowering and powerful it is to start teaching the next generation about who and what it is. And see, by about 5, 6, or 7, the children are already programmed enough. And they have their personalities and character. And they've been programmed enough, influenced enough, so they're in that box. Now, we can, you can argue this with your ego mind or with other people. Why? Doesn't make any sense. It is. It always has been and always will be. And when we look at this, from each of our perspectives, it isn't a judgment call, right? It is an awareness call. Because, you take somebody that's really set in their ways, right? And they're really cemented in their life habit, whatever that may be. And you make a concerted effort to talk with them about who and what they are within the body. Now, the mentality or perspective when people hit a certain length of time they've been in the body, they feel like it's pretty much over. That it's not much, they don't have much longer in the body. So who cares? Okay. Do you want to leave the body and not know who and what you are? And do you want to be able to, you want to start that process all over again? Because that's exactly what will happen. You'll come into another life without memory, you'll have total amnesia, and you'll live that life. And each time you'll start from scratch. So that's why we talk about how absolutely phenomenal every second is that we're in these bodies. Every single second. Throughout our lifetime. Take nothing, absolutely nothing for granted. Zero. But see, what happens is, you've witnessed, or maybe yourself have experienced, where you get a real shock. Life gives you a real eye-opener. Somebody passes unexpectedly. You get in an accident that deters your physical capabilities out of the clear blue, right? And it really slaps us upside the face. We begin to realize of all the things that we took for granted in this life. Walking, for instance. Not being in pain, for instance. Being able to see and hear, for instance. Hugging. Kissing. Laughing. Crying. All those things. But the material, physical, and the ego mind has such a hard grip on us that we are usually guided by the ego mind. It's not a negative. In fact, when it's discussed or brought front and center, that's half of the way there. Because we've identified that. The reason I talk about it so much is because we've got to talk about it a lot. It's not something that you talk about once in a great while and forget about it. Because it's the nucleus to why we are where we're at in this very now moment on this very planet. It has nothing to do with anything outside of you, see? But yet we've been programmed to believe that. It has nothing to do with whatever's going on outside of you. It has everything to do with what's going on within you. Because it's an absolute that whatever is going on within you is literally flooding outside of you. You're creating whatever you're creating in this life by how you are within that body. Now, how many realize that? Don't know. Do not know. But for instance, examples. Would we have so much conflict on this planet if we were all heart-minded? No. Would it exist? No. Would worry, stress, and fear, anxiety, lack of exist? No. Would pollution, the ever-quickening extinction of different life form species on the planet, would that happen? No. What would happen then? Well, you're looking at a God-planet paradise and a blissful existence in total peace. Because remember, you are the master and commander of your thoughts, so you master your thoughts, you master the ego mind. The ego mind then begins to disappear. It's no longer needed, it's found peace. And that's all it's ever been looking for to begin with, is peace. Problem is, it doesn't know that the peace is within. Peace isn't out there. Okay? Love is not out there. Happiness is not out there. Sure, the ego mind, we have short stints of this and that, and some happiness and joy and some excitement, but it's short-lived. It's not continual. The peace, love, and joy and bliss I'm talking about is always. And that's within us with the God, the pure consciousness that we are. When we go into meditation, we're praying. What are we praying? What are we praying to? The God that we are. Obviously, which is connected to all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. It is a conduit that cannot be duplicated. It can't be synthetically duplicated. I bet here is just a little bit of unknown information, is that you realize that there have been species throughout trillions and trillions of years and lifetimes, is that when they became, and this has happened to some civilizations, they became biomechanical and they ended up non-existing. In other words, they went extinct. There's nothing like an organic body. Nothing like it. Never will be. It's designed so us gods can experience many things, not just a few. And as we discover more and more, through our own choices, we start to get a perpetual smile on our faces, because everything is just so magna glorious every day, every night. It's only when we get seduced by the ego mind that it isn't. As soon as we go into the ego mind, we suffer. As soon as we go into the heart mind, we don't suffer. What is suffering? Well, worry, stress, fear, pain, anxiety, irritability, depression. These are all signs this is the ego mind's influence. What about the heart mind? It's not there. Which one would you choose? The quiet time of this meditation. It's your choice anyway. Nobody else's. You decide. Which one would you choose permanently? Not, well, I'll try this one for a while, see how it goes. See, that's our conviction. Would you rather be happy or sad? Blissful or depressed? Hateful or loving? So a lot of, kind of like the Ben Franklin clothes. You take a piece of paper, the long yellow bob paper, and you got a notebook, and you draw a line down the center of it. Over here you put the pros, and over here you put the cons. And find out which one actually wins out. You're not going to choose the one that has more cons than pros. And you begin to realize that everything happening on this planet, we all of us, have contributed and created collectively. This is a huge shift for this civilization of the realization, comprehension that we are gods in these bodies. Period. That we're omnipotently supreme, powerful beings that never die. That we exist to create and experience. That's what we do. It isn't complicated at all. It gets complicated when we're heavily entrenched in the ego mind. It's almost like you get used to something, even though you kind of know that it's not that great. But you're also, you're not going to step outside of it. You just know, I don't know what's out there, so I'm going to stay here. And when it's that uncomfortable, that's when you take a leap of faith. If it was easy comfort, then it wouldn't be any different than what you're experiencing in the moment. In that, whatever you want to call it, circle, your box, whatever it may be. We are, the gods that we are in these bodies are the highest vibrational frequency in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Right? So, we don't know that. We experience it on occasion briefly. Most of the time we don't know what it is, but we just have this euphoric feeling come bubbling up. And it feels so wonderful that, we go, well, how can I keep this? You know how frustrating it is because you don't even know what it is. And it's interesting, we look at positive and negative. There are no negatives unless you make them negative. Right? There are no positives unless you make them positives. It all depends on our perspective. Is the glass half full or half empty or both? See, it's all on how we have been structured, on how we look at things, how we perceive things, how we assimilate things, the decisions we make, the directions we go, are all predicated on information that has been downloaded into us from parents, brothers, sisters, relatives, strangers, friends, all across the board. What would it be like that you decide to program yourself I mean, you are plugged into all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. First thing you're going to want to know is the truth. And that is connected to what is it that's inside this body. Right? What is it? I mean, animals have spirits. We have spirits. You've probably, if you ever put down a pet, you know, I have many. And you're sitting there with the pet as they inject the pet, and then you, not all of them, some of them stay around, but you can feel their spirit jump out of their body. And other times they just hang around because they aren't ready to leave. Now, you think it's any difference with humans? Some of us can't wait to get out of the body because it is so racked with pain and deterioration. Others just figure that life is boring and they don't really care to entertain it anymore. But in your heart, mind, in the quiet time of this meditation, you're going to know that until this civilization begins on a large scale to embrace their God, the God within them, and to know that we're all one, and to know that we're all reflections of each other, and to know that we are actually teachers and students with each other, interacting constantly, showing each other certain things. Maybe you don't care to like, you know, well, I don't care to listen to that. Or you say, all right, instead of getting angry at someone, you go, what are they teaching me? Got it, they're teaching me something. Something about me. Usually it is. Do they know that? No. To be so powerful and yet so ignorant to the fact that we are powerful. I join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focused on your breath, relaxed into the body. You can choose to be happy. No matter if you're super rich, dirt poor, immature, young, or older than the sun, happiness is always a choice. So I invite you to explore what choosing happiness feels like today. Do this as an experiment just to see if you can redirect your mind to appreciate something instead of any time you want this experience. Whenever you can do it, turn your frown upside down. You have something to smile about. You might notice how easy it is to manifest anything you want when a big smile is smothered over your face. Just soften your heart and imagine joyful, fun-loving sensations are flowing through your body. Think about how good it feels to relax and say yes to this universe and all of its magic. No matter what happens down the long road of life, every moment is designed to be a rich life experience, overflowing with wonder. Just notice how easy it is to feel a yes to this moment of your life. Today is your day to take back the reins on your happiness, power. It feels so damn good to just appreciate you. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. And we'll return here Friday, October 25, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call, and all the rest. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on out there or within you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.